So I have a question for you. How do you find yourself again after years of taking care of others? I am not very good at being selfish. I don't think I ever really learned it. I am a people pleaser. And for the last 23 years, I have been immersed in my child's life and really taking care of everyone but myself. And nothing really prepares you for that emptiness that happens when your whole life for the last 20 or so years has revolved around taking care of everyone else. And I know this is a common thing that a lot of you probably struggle with. And suddenly you're supposed to relish in just taking care of yourself. And I've never been very good at that. I felt guilty getting a massage because, oh my gosh, I'm spending money on myself. I don't even know what me really looks like anymore. My whole identity has been taking care of others and becoming the fixer, the go-between. I was also a middle child, and I was always caught between my younger sister and my older sister, and kind of being the peacemaker, the helper, the encourager. And so spending all these years as everyone else's emotional support system has kind of left me drained. And now that my child is graduated from college and is really looking forward to a lot of new things, I'm realizing that I need to redefine what I want. And I don't really have to be the reliable one anymore, because I have to figure out how to get myself back, because my identity has kind of drifted into the background. And self-care can feel kind of selfish at times. When you've spent years making sure everyone else is okay, and then all of a sudden you're sitting down asking what you need, it kind of feels unnatural. And it just doesn't feel natural to me. And I realized that nobody really taught me how to transition from one phase to another. And this applies to women, to caregivers, and especially those whose self-worth became tied to their usefulness. And when people no longer need you in the same way, it feels less like freedom and kind of more like an identity crisis. So I'm wondering how many of you feel the same way. You feel guilty for doing something nice to yourself. You feel guilty spending a little bit of money on yourself. You feel guilty saying no. You feel guilty setting boundaries. And it feels a little guilty wanting something more than what you have. And so I'm in the process of shifting my perspective. And I'm reframing my identity. And I realize that taking care of myself, I'm not really abandoning anyone. I'm just including myself in my circle of care. And this process, I'm going to be asking myself, what are some of the things I can do to feel a little bit more selfish? Yes, the massage was wonderful. I need to do more. And I realize I've never had a pedicure. And I think I really need one. And a manicure. Because even that feels like, ooh, I shouldn't be spending money on that because somebody else might need it. But I don't know. I just want to say that it's a process. And I'm in the process of becoming visible in my own life again. And just trying to expand beyond who I am, other than a great mother, a great provider. Who am I? It's kind of like the old analogy, the hairdresser's child can't get time to get a haircut. And, healer, go heal thyself. And the funny thing is that I've spent the last 15 years, I spent a lot of years as a ghostwriter, and I've written hundreds, probably thousands of mindfulness and meditation scripts in healing, self-healing, healing yourself, healing your emotions, healing your body. And I wrote an entire program for a famous hypnotherapist as a ghostwriter, all about all the healing and, all the ways you can heal yourself. And I don't feel like I'm a very good self-healer. So this will be the first of probably several videos where I'm trying to be more selfish. I'm trying to learn how to be less of a people pleaser and more of a me pleaser. And it's not going to happen overnight. And I would love to hear from anyone out there who is going through a similar journey where you're having to transition from being a fantastic mom or fantastic dad and transitioning to being your own person. And this has not been easy for me. So I'm going to continue talking and having this conversation with you and figuring this out. So I really hope you'll comment and subscribe if you feel inspired to. And let's talk about this some more. Let's talk about how to do this transition and how to be a little bit more selfish as women or men. I'm open to either. So I bid you peace, and I love you, and I hope you're having an awesome day.